Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Wild Yoga Tribe podcast. I'm your host, Lily Allen Duenas. Together, we'll talk about the world of yoga and we'll talk to people from around the world. I wanted to also let you all know that I will be teaching yoga online this year. Classes will be live streamed on a platform called Moxie, and I have $25 off coupons to send you, valid in January. And I would love if you could join me for a class to help you feel centered, refreshed, and filled with ease. Ready to dive into the show? Let's get started. Namaste, family. Welcome back to the Wild Yoga Tribe podcast. Today, I am so excited to welcome Gafar Ganizadeh on to the show. He's a yoga teacher from Azerbaijan, and he first began to practice yoga in 2009 when he was invited to practice yoga with one of his friends who had just received her yoga teacher training certification. After attending her classes, Gafar quickly realized that yoga was the thing that was missing from his life. Yoga felt like something he already knew. Gafar's first yoga training was in 2016 in Hatha, and a year later he did obtain his advanced yoga teacher training certificate and then went on to become a fly yoga teacher as well. So Gafar teaches yoga in his hometown of Baku in Azerbaijan, and he teaches Hatha, power yoga, fly yoga, and his own practice, which he calls complex yoga. So thank you so much, Gafar, for joining me today.
Thank you. Hello. Namaste.
So I would love to ask, after that first yoga class that you did with your friend, how do you feel after that class, and how do you feel that it influences and impacts the space that you create for your students?
You know, the first thing that impressed me was my feeling after meditation. Because of I use my brain a lot. I used to use it in my computer engineer world, like I was working on, and I felt that brain needs to relax, to maybe stop, to refresh. And after that first meditation, I realized that this is what I need to learn more and share with people, because for now, I have lots of students who used to, I work with, they are IT guys working like internet engineering. So they need it and I share it with them and they love it. They can combine like the yoga and their work. So they're happy and I'm happy also.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I love how you said the brain needs to stop and refresh. As a computer engineer, that seemed like a little play on words.
Yes. I use it a lot, like to explain person. I use like examples on computer, so it better the person gets information better.
And so I was wondering if you could tell us what complex yoga is. I was really excited when I read that in your bio.
As I started my spiritual journey, let's call it, I realized that I met lots of different people who also do yoga, and the people I met, one of peoples I met, they were like, maybe you know people like that. They're fanatics, like they accept only one type or style of yoga, and like for example hatha yoga, they don't accept the other yoga or styles or other techniques or any other knowledge that can help you on your way, know yourself, your soul, your mind, and your body. That got me to find the other ways, other styles of yoga, and I found things that I was shocked. Like there is a book called Caucasian Yoga. It's like yoga of Caucasus countries. Really old book. Practice looks like regular hatha or like kundalini, but they use colors, they use special sitting techniques, and lots of practice with eyes. And took something from that. Then I met people who practice Sufi techniques. That's how I made the complex yoga. There is techniques from Hatha, from Ashtanga, Vinyasa, or other practice from Kundalini yoga, from special Sufi breathings. It's like a holotrope breathing, if you know, and it helps to get clear of emotions or to, how I said, refresh your mind, your brain. So I mixed it all up and calling it complex yoga.
Wonderful. Yeah, I love the idea of just mixing everything together and really creating something that you felt aligned and resonated the most with you, and of course offering that to your students, because it is beautiful to pull from different traditions, whether that's Buddhism or Sufism like you brought up. I think there's so much that can be offered when we're willing to kind of pull from different traditions. So you mentioned Sufi breathing. Can you talk to me more about how Sufism or the different practices from the Sufi tradition are incorporated? I would love to hear more.
Okay. Um, there is one breathing technique that I use often. There is no actual name for it. I just call it the breathing that helps you to, how you say, to leave your emotions, absorb them, and let them go. Like, there is people in our country, there are lots of people who don't like to share his emotions. Like, even if he want to feel happy emotions, he stays with straight face, or he don't let them the emotions go. And they one day they just realize that they have some stress, have problems with sleeping, problems with emotions, having conversation with others, panic attacks, and all that goes that they just keep emotions in themselves. The emotions, if you open that word, it energy motion, like the motion of energy, and energy should always flow. If it stuck somewhere, as you know, 100%, there are problems starting like in our lives. So that breathing helps quickly let that emotions go from your body. Yeah, after that breathing, someone starts to cry, someone starts to laugh, someone starts to scream, someone wants to break something, and we telling people that please don't stop. If you want to express your emotion, just let it go. um, that's about it, about the breathing.
Okay, so how did you first learn about this Sufi breathing technique?
There was one guy who was traveling the world, and I think he lives in United States, but his roots goes to Iran, and they have Sufi traditions there. He shared it there with me.
Oh, that's beautiful. So I love that we've talked about your practice, and I would love to hear, why do you teach? Like, what makes you want to teach and share yoga?
Like, the main reason, I'll be honest with you, the thing why I teach, to make myself disciplined. One day I realized that if I don't teach, I start lazy, and my own practice goes down. Like, I do it not like every day or a few times in a week. So by teaching, I discipline myself, and I share that discipline with others, because I realize that uh, the discipline in yoga is one of the important things. If you want to get result from your practice and see that your life is changing, you should be in a good discipline. That's the main thing.
So you teach to continue the discipline, to keep you showing up on the mat, going deeper, studying more. So you'd say it's so that you continue to go deeper and deeper on your own journey?
Yeah, because of the horoscope sign, it's pieces and left like chill, relax, and just uh, catch the flow. And and I didn't have enough discipline in my life, so the yoga brought it to my life, and I love it.
That is a gift that yoga can give, absolutely. And I love how that discipline of showing up on your mat every single day, how that can change over time or through the seasons or even the moon cycles. I love what I've learned too, that I don't have to do the same practice every single day. It's more about just showing up and saying, okay, what do I need today? What does my body need? My emotions need?
That's exactly what I do. I feel.
So you definitely change your practice every day too, you'd say?
Actually, yes. This is one of the things I was observing in my students in my classes, that people love and practice change every day. And what was interesting and funny, after I got my yoga certificate, the one of the teachers in studio, she was moving to United States, and she had to do it real quick. So the studio invited me to teach there. And when I started teach, I see that when they practice every time is the same thing, they just get bored. I started to like switch the flow, change it by their requirement, and with some interesting, I have that, I don't know, maybe my wife called it superpower, that when I'm in class and the students sitting in their spots, I just come sit down. I know, I just feel what they need for today right now, like someone, what their body needs. Every time before practice, I sit down, take a paper, and just put some asanas that I should give them today. And every time I go to the class and never use that paper, because I just sit down and prepare myself for meditation, telling the blessing, the thanks to universe, and the preparation before class. And after that, the flow opens. I just know what I need to give them today, and that's how my practice every day changed.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I think that's an incredible superpower to have, the ability to just walk in, sense the energy of a room, and then create the sequence or the offering to the students for what they need. That's also how I really like to teach as well, is not to come in with an already with my plans or with my paper or with anything. I love to let it kind of organically come about, because throughout the class too, like sometimes I don't know it the minute I walk in, but after a few minutes and I'm seeing and sensing the energy or the skill level even of the students, then I can kind of keep going. Is that how you feel, like you just observe and transform like that too?
Yes, exactly. uh, and after classes, students giving the feedback, and that, wow, like someone have, like 5 students had a pain in lower back, and all the practice was to the first and like second chakras, and like, I just got to the point.
I know your wife is also a yoga teacher. So I would love to hear about what that's like to have two yoga teachers as, married partners. And also, I know you used to own a yoga studio together. So let's talk about that.
Yes, that's right. This is perfect combination, I think, because I think that each yoga teacher in, need to visit the other teachers' practices. And I got lucky that my wife also yoga teacher, so we always talk about practices, improving our practices, giving advices to each other. And with yoga, we got more calm. and we just feel each other without no words. That's the gifts that we got from yoga. To have business, it was just perfect because we made like it was not like a regular studio when you come and there's a reception guy or girl. There was no reception. We had it all on online platform. You just control your yoga studio online. It was easy for teachers, for me, and for my students because everything was online. And when we were opening the studio, we were thinking not like a business people that we need to make that studio so it brings money. We were opening it like the yoga people.
Very cool. So I'd love to ask too, Gafar, what is yoga in Azerbaijan like? Like, what's the yoga scene like? And has it been popular for 20 years, for 2 years? Like, what is the kind of, story of yoga coming to Azerbaijan?
The yoga in Azerbaijan now, it's popular. You can say that it's popular now, but in 90s maybe there were few people, about like maybe 10 people who had information about yoga, who can teach yoga, and we were part of USSR. And as I remember, the books and all that stuff related to yoga were not allowed in the country. And about 15 years now, we can say that the yoga started to be popular in Azerbaijan. For now, there's lots of yoga studio, lots of teachers, and people now they realize that yoga can help them to get their health back. There's a stereotype that when you say that you practice yoga, people think that you sitting with crossed legs, eyes closed, the Gyan mudra, the mudra of knowledge. You're just sitting, and yoga. It's about this. And when you tell that no, it's not only about sitting with eyes closed. There's breathings, there's asanas, there's philosophy. Uh, they just think that really we never heard about that. For now, there's lots of people who know what's yoga, what's chakras, what's mantras. As I see, there's a lot of doctors who send people to yoga. That, for example, someone came with anxiety or something, or problems with sleeping. He said, no need to take any medicine. Go practice yoga, it will help you. Now, mostly people come because of health problem. Most of people come with some problems. About maybe we can say about 10% of people they just come to get his spiritual way, or to find himself, or to get balanced in chakras or something like that. Most of people come to become healthy.
That's very interesting that you think most people think of yoga teachers or yoga practitioners as just sitting cross-legged with Gyan Mudra. Because I think most people in the US think of yoga, people who practice yoga more like acrobat, pretzel, bendy, they picture these very, flexible, so I think it's was very fun for me to hear that it's more the meditation that they're.
Yeah. Some people here think it's a religion or something close to Buddhism or something. But mostly the people think that you just sit crossed legs and eyes closed.
And so, did I understand correctly that you said that books on yoga weren't allowed in the country like 15 years ago or something?
Not 15. When the USSR, the Georgia close to us country, then the Belarus and all that countries that used to were inside of USSR, and the books like any other religions or the philosophy or spiritual knowledge books, and also the yoga, it were not allowed to like sell it in normal libraries or like bookstores. But it was in USSR, like in Soviet times, not now.
Okay, so yeah, that was probably would have. Well, it was the USSR. I know dissolved in 1991, so it was after 1991, and now after that was dissolved, everything's it's all on the internet. Books are allowed. Amazon sells it. Everything's normal.
Yeah. You can now easily find that. We have like my teacher Rasim. He's writing yoga books in Azerbaijani language and shares them. So now you can easily find any information.
Wonderful. And do you feel like your culture and community in Azerbaijan, do you feel like it supports yoga or challenges yoga, the philosophies and methodologies of it?
Yeah, they supports now. The government supports. We have the yoga federation in Azerbaijan, and they help. We make yoga festivals on the International Yoga Day. Me and my friends who used to own studio together, 2017. We made a yoga festival. It was about like 3 or 4 thousand people came in. There was different types of yoga. There was like the massage. There was astrology and all knowledge and things that were close to yoga. There was different people who were just sharing information. It's supporting 100%.
Awesome. In terms of you said people really struggled to release their emotions or like let them show. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like that kind of calls for more yoga as a way of expression and alignment with emotions and body, mind, and energy and all that? Is there anything about kind of how people are that they need yoga more or they respect it more or something?
They get yes, they get respect more when they just practice one time and feel the result, feel the difference, feel the changes in body. They respect it more. Becoming now open-minded, like um, more young guys, like teenagers, 15, 18, 20 years old. They already have like yoga classes in school, so they know more about yoga. Sorry about dog. And yeah, people starting be more open mind. They're accepting that knowledge. People you in Azerbaijan used to like long years ago, like if you go back to history, we had that culture of meditating. I don't know. Have you heard any mugham, like cultural music, like ethnic music of Azerbaijan?
No, I haven't heard any before.
That the mugham used to be a meditation technique that brought the people used to heal others, like like the theta healing or the reiki. There is a special technique using music vibration to heal people. But so I think the young population now, they're remembering knowledge of yoga in Azerbaijan. In our past, in our history, we had knowledge about yoga. Maybe it called differently and had different cultural names and practices, but it was the goal of it was the same as in yoga. The young population now, they started to like remember. There's lots of young teachers who like create their own techniques or use their own uh, asanas or something to create something new. And I think that it's not new. They just finding that information, that knowledge in universe. Like you know what I mean?
I think so. It sounds like in history in Azerbaijan, just in the history, in the knowledge and old traditions, it seems like there might have been.
It's very spiritual. We have a place called Gobustan, and it's a place where one of the first like people were living there. We have that images of, I don't know, of cows and people hunting on the mountains, and it's very energetic place. You can, like, if you go and sit there in meditation, you can feel the energy of mountain. Very, very energetic place. We have lots of spiritual places. One of the place, we call it burning mountain. It's just that natural gas coming under the ground, and it just always burn. And there's a tradition. Yeah, people go there and make a wish, or just you can come, and we used to go there and practice. Always the sound of fire burning.
Oh, that must be, yeah, a very powerful place to do meditation or to do a practice. So where are you teaching these days? What's the name of the studio, and are you offering anything online still?
For now, there's a studio called Mantra Space. Actually, it's also art studio. It's also a vegetarian cafe and the yoga studio in one place. I teach there. I have two classes for now. It's just classic Hatha yoga and power yoga. Yeah, and also I have the fly yoga classes there. I have also the individual students. It's like I yoga coaching them. That's about it.
Awesome. And so if some of our listeners, Gafar, haven't really heard much about Azerbaijan before, or they don't even really know anything about it, how do you describe your country to people who are unfamiliar with it?
Azerbaijani people are very famous with their hospitality. Like people will, if they will know that you're like foreigner or just visiting our country, they will invite you in. They will give you a tea, 100%. They will give you food. It's really warm in summers. We have Caspian Sea near. We have also mountains. We have, places where you can rent skis and snowboard. Again, if we go back to history, the Azerbaijan, the Baku, the Silk Way goes through Azerbaijan, and that's why the people from different countries visit us. And also, I forgot to tell you, the people who know Azerbaijan, they will tell that the main thing is that we oil country. We get oil from our planet and sell it to the other countries.
The last question I always ask to every single yoga teacher, what is your personal definition of yoga?
Yoga is my lifestyle. I don't know, it's my life. It's a part of me, I think. It's not only use yoga in practices. I use it anytime in my life when I walk or when I visiting some place, or I'm thinking. It's my life, as I can say.
It's beautiful. And I remember when you said, when we talked before, that, when you first had that class, the very first time, it felt like something you were remembering, and that your body was really kind of quick to mold itself into the asanas. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's true. My muscles were elastic, so from like never practicing yoga, I was able to do some twistings, some hard asanas, like not hard, advanced asanas, let's call it. And yeah, that's one of the things that told me that, man, you have to continue that. You have to make yoga the part of your life.
Got it. It's beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Gafar, for joining me on the podcast today. It has been a joy to be with you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure for me to share.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Wild Yoga Tribe podcast. My conversation with Gafar, a yoga teacher from Azerbaijan, was so interesting as we looked at the Azerbaijan culture and how expressing emotion and refreshing the brain really benefits his community. I love that this conversation was so, filled with different elements and aspects of yoga and of the Azerbaijani culture. And I hope that this conversation made you curious about how you could integrate different methodologies and traditions together to make your own kind of complex yoga. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Wild Yoga Tribe podcast. Be well. Thank you for the gift of your attention today. If you feel called, please share this episode with someone who you think could benefit from it. Leaving a review would also be so appreciated. Also, I hope you can join me for a yoga class on Moxie and take advantage of that $25 off coupon here in January. I'm doing morning yoga classes 5 times a week, including Rise and Shine yoga classes and even classes for people who say they can't do yoga. Links are in the show notes or on my website, wildyogatribe.com. See you there. And as always, be well, dear one, be well.